me. Don't you see? Seems like I'm over here, and you're over there. That's what I said. I am you, me. Greater than air. Don't you see? Like I'm over here, and you're over there. That's what I said. I am you, me. Greater than air. Don't you see? Like I'm over here, and you're over there. That's what I said. I am you, me. With your seats, I'm over you, that's what I said. I am you, don't you see? I am you, you are me. It's a fact, so it's totally. I am you, you are me. It's a fact, so it's totally. I am a part of you, you are a part of me, and so together we are one body. I am inside your head, you are inside my heart. We've been together, perfect from the start. I am you, are me. That's what I said. I am you, are me. Don't you see? Seems like I'm over here, and you're over there. And you're over there, but there's something between us that's greater. Seems like I'm over here, and you're over there. And you're over there, but there's something between us that's greater. Seems like I'm over here, you are me. It's a fact, so it's already. Seems like I'm over here. I am a part of you, you are a part of me, and so together we are one body. I am inside your head, you are inside my heart, and we're together, perfect from the start. I am a part of you, you are a part of me, and so together we are one body. I am inside your head, you are inside my heart, and still together, perfect from the start.
To begin. Good morning. I'm Mary Glick, and I'm serving as your worship associate this morning. It's my joy to welcome members and visitors of all ages, those connecting online, and those here in the sanctuary. If you're in the sanctuary, you may have noticed we have a little something different today. We've created a nest for our littlest congregants here in the front, where they can see, hear, and participate more fully. Families are, of course, welcome to sit anywhere that is most comfortable, so this is provided as an option. We're exploring ways to live our commitment to be an intergenerational community, to remind us of the blessings our families bring. Children, we're glad you're here. We have lots of fidgets and books and I Spy tubes to help your fingers stay busy while you follow along with your mind at the beginning of our service. And please, everyone, let the Worship Arts Committee, Janet Murphy, our Director of Religious Exploration, Reverend Rod, any of us know what you think about this arrangement, because we seek to deepen connection, nurture spiritual growth, embrace multi-generational community, and inspire joy. Now, please take a minute or two to greet those around you. good to be together. We begin each of our services by acknowledging the impact of colonialism in this country, understanding that all of us are located on the traditional, ancestral, unceded territory of Indigenous communities. We respect the history and culture of these communities and all Native Americans as America's first peoples. We'd like to extend a special welcome to our visitors this morning. We're delighted you chose to be with us today and invite you to stay after the service for some informal conversation. If you're here in person, you can gather in our social hall through the doors on the side of the sanctuary or in our labyrinth just outside the foyer that you came in through. Those visiting online, you're welcome to stay after the service for conversation with others on Zoom. We invite visitors here in the sanctuary to fill out the green visitor form in the pews. These can be placed in the offertory basket later in the service. If you're visiting online, you may fill out the visitor form on our website, UUSLO.org, at the bottom of the main page. If you have any questions about the congregation or about Unitarian Universalism, our membership director, Larry Ikinta, up here in the choir, will be available after the service at the newcomers table in the social hall, or you may contact him at membership.uuslo@gmail.com. And if you're interested in learning more about our congregation's transition to an interim and then a settled minister, please return to the sanctuary at 11:50 today for a second Sunday conversation with our Board of Trustees. If you're online, you can join in with the usual Zoom link. Board members will share what they've learned from the UUA about the transition process. Whether you're in the social hall, here in the sanctuary, we encourage everyone to greet everyone you don't recognize after the service. Once again, a warm welcome to all. Today's chalice lighting is by Dag Hammarskjöld from Singing the Living Tradition. Each morning, we must hold out the chalice of our being to receive, to carry, and to give back.
Doxology next.
Right. Please join us as we do every Sunday by singing the doxology.
That worked. Come, enter this place of welcome, holding space for each other. Come home to a wholeness of being. Come, let us worship together. So please rise in body or spirit and join in singing number 34, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire, in our gray hymnal. Or you may follow the words on the screen. Would the children and associated adults and Janet Murphy, our Director of Religious Exploration, come forward, please?
Tom, there I am. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Sophia, Annika, you want to come up for the story? Luis, come on up. Leave your toys and come on up here. Our story today is one that follows one that we had before. The one we had before was, what do you do with a chance? And you might remember that because we in RE talked about that a lot. And today's story is by the same author. Sophia, I'm going to ask you to take those back, please. Thank you. Thanks, Charlie. Okay, we're making transitions, as you all know, learning what's okay and what's not okay up here with our nest. Today's story is called, What Do You Do with a Problem? Here we go.
What Do You Do with a Problem? By Kobe Yamada. I don't know how it happened, but one day I had a problem. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. I really didn't like having a problem, but it was there. Why is it here? What does it want? What do you do with the problem, I thought. I wanted to make it go away. I shooed it. I scowled at it. I tried ignoring it, but nothing worked. I started to worry about my problem. What if it swallows me up? What if my problem sneaks up and gets me? What if it takes away all of my things? I worried a lot. I worried about what would happen. I worried about what could happen. I worried about this and worried about that. And the more I worried, the bigger my problem became. I wished it would just disappear. I tried everything I could to hide from it. I even found ways to disguise myself, but it still found me. And the more I avoided my problem, the more I saw it everywhere. I thought about it all the time. I didn't feel good at all. I couldn't take it anymore. This has to stop, I declared. Maybe I was making my problem bigger and scarier than it actually was. After all, my problem hadn't really swallowed me up or attacked me. I realized that I had to face it. So even though I didn't want to, even though I was really afraid, I got ready and I tackled my problem. When I got face to face with it, I discovered something. My problem wasn't what I thought it was. I discovered it had something beautiful inside. My problem held an opportunity. It was an opportunity for me to learn and to grow, to be brave, to do something. It showed me that it was important to look closely because some opportunities only come once. So now I see problems differently. I'm not afraid of them anymore because I know their secret. Every problem has an opportunity for something good. You just have to look for it.
So I wonder if we can all think for just a minute. Have you had a problem that you had to think about, you had to deal with? You didn't really want to, but then when you did, something beautiful came out of that problem? If you've had that experience, put your hand up. Yeah, me too. All right. Well, two things before we go off to RE. I have a reminder. I have some s'mores, marshmallows roasting over my little fire here to let you all know that next Sunday evening, we're having a bonfire with some more roasting out at Avila Beach. And it's for our whole community. It's sponsored by RE, but we hope that you all will come and join us and roast some s'mores over the fire pit. You're welcome to bring your own dinner if you'd like. Just bring a chair and sit and watch the sunset with us together. Next Sunday, the 20th. And that will be just down from the Pirate Park, so you can park anywhere and find us on the beach. I have a big polka-dotted umbrella that always signifies where we're located. And Kathy's going to lead us in our movement prayer. So everybody stand up. If you have something in your hands, littlest people, you might want to leave them on the ground because you need your hands for the movement prayer.
Or you can face everybody out there and show them how we do this. First, we bow to honor the spirit of life. We lift our arms to embrace the gifts of spirit. We gather these gifts unto ourselves with gratitude and breathe and smile. We share these gifts with the world and remember to be present. Honor, embrace, gratitude, share, be present. Thank you.
A light is carried from this common flame of our multi-generational congregation into the religious exploration space with the children and youth. May your mind be open. We have set aside this time in our service to share with each other those milestones that are most deeply felt in our lives. So we have one today. This is from Jim Crawford. A joy and a sorrow is in remembrance of one small girl who made a difference to me, Natalie Dominique Crawford. Let's hold together this joy and sorrow, and all those joys and sorrows that remain unspoken, offering a prayer for the healing of pain and opening ourselves to a renewed awareness of and commitment to the truly awesome power of love within and beyond this community. So now we'll have a few moments of quiet reflection and meditation.
Our community outreach offering recipient for the month of October is We Care Food Share. This is a group within UUSLO who run a weekly food pantry for those in need on Wednesdays from 3 to 4:30 p.m. Food is purchased entirely through contributions from our members without any funding from the congregation's budget. Some food is purchased from the SLO Food Bank and some from local grocery stores. The emphasis is on providing balanced, healthy food, and about 250 to 300 people are served each month at a cost of around $800 to $1,000. The community We Care Food Share serves is very grateful for the assistance as it helps them to eat a healthy diet while saving money for other necessities, such as housing and transportation. Here is the giving page on our website, which allows the various funds to which you can target your donations. At the bottom of your order of service is a QR code that will take you directly to the giving page. If you have any questions about your pledge payments or any kinds of donations, please contact our office.
Generosity is central to who we are and what we do together. And so we make time each week for an offering from our abundance to sustain this gathering and to strengthen the work of love that grows from our commitment to each other, to the wider community, and to the world. Please join with me in the words for the offering. We are this church. We are its hands, its heart, its voice. Together we share the wealth of this community and sustain it with our gifts. The offering will now be given and received.
I feel so sad. Uh-huh. I feel so bad. Uh-huh. I feel so mad. Uh-huh. Breathe in. Breathe out. My mind is here. Uh-huh. My mind is there. Uh-huh. Life is unfair. Uh-huh. Breathe in. Breathe out. I feel so blue. Uh-huh. Too much to do. Uh-huh. I'm blaming you. Uh-huh. Breathe in. Breathe out. It moves so fast. Uh-huh. And nothing lasts. Uh-huh. Just let it pass. Uh-huh. Breathe in. Breathe out. I want to kill.
I want to kill.
Afraid I will.
Afraid I
Uh-huh.
will.
Try to be still.
Try to be still. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come back to here. Uh-huh. Let go of fear. Uh-huh. My mind is clear. Uh-huh. Breathe in. Breathe out.
I feel so sad. Uh-huh. I feel so bad. Uh-huh. I feel so mad. Uh-huh.
Breathe in. Breathe out.
Today's first reading is from The Seven Stone Path, An Everyday Journey to Wisdom by Peter Boland. In the non-dualism of mystics the world over, the consciousness of surrender is an essential step in the unfolding of our own awakening. When the walls between us and everything else fall down, an unforeseen power begins to move through us, a power we have long held beneath the bindings of our ego and limited sense of self. Finally, it is that limited sense of self we must surrender and renounce. Ramani Maharshi, perhaps the most influential English teacher of the 20th century, put the consciousness of surrender at the center of his work. He wrote, "Surrender is to give oneself up to the original cause of one's being. Do not delude yourself by imagining such a source to be some God outside of you. One's source is within oneself. Give yourself up to it. That means you should seek the source and merge with it." Echoing this idea is Adyashanti, a contemporary teacher. He wrote, "Surrender isn't something I do. Surrender isn't an act I perform. Surrender is an expression of my own truest being." Today's second reading is from "O Love," lyrics by Susan Hagen, inspired by the original words of George Matheson. "O love that will not let me go, I rest my weary soul in thee. I give thee back the life I owe, that in thine ocean depths its flow may richer, fuller be." Here ends the reading.
Thank you. O love, that wilt not let me go, I rest my weary soul in thee. I give thee back the life I owe, that in thine ocean depths its flow may richer, fuller be. Listening to the words and music of this song, I feel rocked in the ocean. I feel at once a longing for and belonging to love. Love at the center of our faith. The lyrics speak of personal release and joining with the greater cause of our being. They are words of surrender. In letting go of myself, I become the world, intimate with all beings. If that doesn't speak to you, you may desire, like myself, to live in community with a full and open heart. Yet too often, my inner experience is more like that expressed in the offertory song, Aha. I know love as my center, yet more often than I would like, it is obscured by judging, worry, or other preoccupations. I have a suspicion that I'm not alone. What would it take to live with others in an open, full-hearted way? What would we have to release or surrender exactly? What is involved in shifting our point of view to allow love to shine through? I'll start with an embarrassing story. I've served as chair on a committee for 6 years. It is a diverse group of well-intentioned folks with different experiences and frames of reference. We have evolved into a well-functioning group and typically have friendly and productive meetings. But some time ago, I felt frustrated at cross purposes with others. As chair, I was focused on getting stuff done. I was primarily concerned with a meeting agenda and time constraints. What needs to be taken care of today? What can wait till next time? What is our long-range plan? What are we doing here anyway? I was in overdrive, functioning from an old MO as problem solver. You've heard that working with UUs is sometimes like herding cats. To be fair, other committee members had their own needs, priorities, and personal agenda. I was stuck on my need to produce results, and I felt thwarted from attaining my purpose. Why didn't folks get with my plan? You've heard of girls gone wild. Well, here's a case of this girl gone wild. In one meeting, I felt out of sync with others, separate, lonely. I wanted to belong, but when disagreements mounted, I found it hard to fully accept or trust others. I wondered, do they fully accept or trust me? On decisions of importance, I tend to attach to outcomes. In this case, passions arose, we debated. I thought of my UU values, practice patience, compassion, and empathy. A positive inner voice said, stay calm, it's a process. But debate turned to conflict. People's faces appeared blank or unsympathetic. My body tightened. My view narrowed. Fight or flight nerves activated. A negative inner voice was heard. They don't like you. They're against you. I became defensive. It's that old default. I was caught in an inner web of hurt and judgment from my past. A fierce exchange of words ensued in which I reacted sharply. In the same instant that I decided they were the problem, I lost my big heart and generosity of spirit. The meeting ended, and I felt disconnected, alienated from my deeper self, my loving nature. Instead, I was fused with a small, negative knot, the generational story of an outsider. Now I was the problem. As Oliver of Laurel and Hardy might say, "Some mess you've got me in now, Susan." Afterward, I felt guilty and ashamed. I mopped myself off the floor, apologized, and made amends. Fortunately, it led to new growth and improved my group relations. More on this later. So much of what we already know, we must remember again and again. Case in point, that when I judge myself, I tend to project that out onto others. Also, every problem has different sides, and judging or blaming oneself or others only obscures our view and impedes our ability to love. Please consider for a moment, what is here now when there is no problem to solve? Years ago, I had an epiphany when I sat in a guided meditation and heard an American Buddhist teacher ask me the same question. Suddenly, my problem thinking shifted. Routine feelings of dissatisfaction and self-judgment vanished. It was like I won a get-out-of-jail-free card in the monopoly of life. This experience helped loosen attachment to my ego or small self and to a nagging fear that I was not enough, the calling card of ego. Releasing this sense of self opened the door to an experience of wholeness and connection. Of course, this peek into no self, no problem was short-lived. Like other blissful experiences of love supreme on the cushion, putting it in action in my relationships has been the challenge of a lifetime. 2,500 years ago, before Western philosophers and neuroscientists, the Buddha identified the self as impermanent and changeable. The self is merely a collection of thoughts, stories, feelings, and perceptions. Ego is typically associated with an executive self, necessary to function in society. It can be credited for countless achievements, social hierarchy, factionalism, as well as wars. According to Buddhists, when we over-identify with the ego, when we invest in it as truth, we create a dual universe of me versus you. That creates problems. When I attach to my role as problem solver or my old story as outsider, as I did in my committee, I act at odds with others. Unbridled ego, this girl gone wild, creates conflict and suffering. Neuroscientists have identified negative thinking or negative bias as our default mode. From the time we roamed the savannah, we have been hardwired to identify threats and react to save our skins. Studies have shown a whopping 80% of our daily thoughts are negative, and 95% of these thoughts repeat themselves daily. Daniel Gilbert and David Levari, two Harvard psychologists, conducted research to learn if the human brain searches for problems even when they are infrequent or don't exist. What do you think was their answer? In layman's terms, based on multiple studies, Lavari labeled this phenomenon problem creep. It explains that as we experience fewer problems, we don't become more satisfied. We just lower our threshold for what we consider a problem. We end up with the same number of problems, except that our newer problems are progressively more hollow. We can all relate to the phenomenon of self-induced suffering from judgment, worry, and negative self-talk. Comedians and humorists make their living off this stuff. One internet quip making the rounds: most of the things I worry about never happen. See, worry works. There's another internet quip I like better. You gotta let that stuff go. Before I can live in an open and full-hearted way with you, I need to release my own fear of others' judgment and my propensity to judge myself and others. You see, it's all related. When I judge myself for not doing or being enough, I fear you judging me. Then I react in defense, alienating you. I judge you for judging me, for judging you, and round it goes. How can we release critical and judging thinking? I'll offer you a silly example. After 35 years of marriage, I got 1 million of them. When my husband does the laundry late at night, he dumps the clean, rumpled clothing on our bed. This exasperates me. I end up folding my clothes when I'm tired. My first thought is, "Arrgh, why can't he do it earlier?" Before reacting out loud, I try to say to myself, his intent is positive. After all, he's doing the laundry. And we're a team. This kind of positive reframe also works in community when I work it. Psychologists agree that self-acceptance is the work of a lifetime. It's not a thumbs up or thumbs down kind of thing. It's a multi-layered, unending process. Each new stage of life presents different challenges and life tasks. We must integrate fresh successes and failures. One day, we feel like life is our oyster, rich in relationships, meaning, and experience. The next day, it can feel like a monumental struggle worthy of an epic novel like War and Peace. It doesn't help that we live in a blaming and shaming culture. This is exacerbated by social media, which often triggers negative self-talk. Many people never listen to their internal self-criticism. It is shocking just how harsh we can be on ourselves. I invite you over the next 2 weeks to listen to what you tell yourself about yourself, as well as what you tell yourself about how other people treat you. When I notice that I'm stuck on, "She dissed me, that's mean," or "he ignored me, he probably dislikes me," that's a cue that I have some underlying self-criticism that needs attention. Kristen Neff, a research psychologist in mindful self-compassion, offers useful strategies for shifting from self-criticism to self-compassion. In one study, subjects were taught to notice when they diss themselves and use caring self-touch, such as this, or this, or this, or even this. Caring self-touch calms us and buoys our mood. Practicing one of these comforting touches for just 20 seconds a day over a 3-week period significantly improved subject self-esteem. Compassion practices open my heart to all beings, including myself. Then I can more readily forgive myself and others for our missteps. What opens your heart and helps you feel connected? Communing with nature, peak experiences in travel, music, singing, and creative arts are my sweet spots. These experiences inspire me and enable me to care for that residual outsider and worn-out problem solver that pushes me and others. Love at the center is our precious birthright. It is not something we must grow or earn. It is here even when we cannot see it or feel it. When we shift our view from the small self to listen deeply to our inner experience, it can shine through. I trust the existence of love and our inner goodness because I have witnessed its beauty, wisdom, and boundless caring in countless acts of moral justice, compassion, and sacrifice by everyday people, heroes, and heroines. I've experienced love numerous times in the small acts of kindness by friends, strangers, as well as myself. From the first reading, surrender is to give oneself up to the original cause of one's being. Do not delude yourself by imagining such a source to be some God outside of you. One's source is within oneself. Give yourself up to it. I understand surrender as letting go of control, letting go of ego. It is entrusting myself to a larger belonging, be that my marriage, my committee, or my UUSLO community. When I sing with a choir, it means listening, being, breathing together, and merging my voice with others as one voice. When I serve on the committee, it means releasing expectations and outcomes, understanding and accepting others' vulnerabilities and limits, and practicing trust in the goodness of our inner natures. Even when others are unkind, shifting my perspective to see beyond their ego-based behavior engenders empathy. When I ally with others' inner nature, it opens the way to solve problems and find peace. Thus, I have hope that those with whom I tangle, I can also learn to tango. I am, you are me. That's what I say. And I am a part of you. You are a part of me. And so together we are one body. Community, like family, is the crucible in which we practice kindness, compassion, and service. Relationship is the spiritual path. Our mission is to deepen connections. The challenge of community is learning to face our fears and accept both our and others' mistakes, differences, eccentricities, and awkward steps toward greater humanity. The time to make up your mind about people is never, said Philip Berry in the Philadelphia Story. UUSLO provides unlimited opportunities to practice love, provided we show up, hang in, and try again. Surrendering the ego or individual self is a kind of death. Releasing control and entrusting ourselves to the cause of our being can be scary. In this case, it is not a capitulation, but an act of courage. If the self is an illusion, by entrusting myself to love, I won't lose anything except shame, privilege, alienation, judging. I may simply create fewer problems and more harmony. I give thee back the life I owe, that in thine ocean depths its flow may richer, fuller be. Let it be so. All right. So we're going to sing. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place, in our teal hymnal, or you may follow the words on the screen.
Please join with me in saying the words we use each Sunday as we extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
This is from Frederick Gillis. May the love which overcomes all differences, which heals all wounds, which puts to flight all fears, which reconciles all who are separated, be in us and among us now and always. In this vein, We can work it out. Please remain seated to hear the postlude.
Try to see it my way. Do I have to keep on talking till I can go on?
While you see it your way, run the risk of knowing that our love may soon be gone.
We can work it out. We can work it out. Think of what you're saying. You can get it wrong and still you think that it's alright.
Think of what I'm saying. We can work it out and get it straight or say goodnight.
We can work it out. We can work it out. Life is very short and there's no time for fussing and fighting, my friends. I have always thought that it's a crime, so I will ask you once again. Try to see it my way. It's only time that I am right or I am wrong.
While you see it your way, there's a chance that we may fall apart before too long.
We can work it out. We can work it out. Life is very short and there's no time for fussing and fighting, my friend. I have always thought that it's a crime, so I will ask you once again. Try to see it my way. Only time will tell if I am right or I am wrong.
While you see it your way, there's a chance that we may fall apart before too long.
We can work it out. We can work it out.